What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into TNA Turning Point from November the 29th, 2024. This was an okay pay-per-view. It could have been better, but this was okay. This was okay. So, Rosemary, she wins the triple threat match. So she defeated Savannah Evans and Zaya Brookside for no apparent reason. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. It happened on the pre-show. Who cares? On to the main card. This leads us into the first match of the night, which was Mike Santana defeating Frankie Kazarian in a no-stakes match at all. Nothing on the line. It's just there just to be there. Nothing matters. This was an okay match. Mike Santana wins via spin the block. I guess this was just to gain momentum. I don't know what they're doing with Mike Santana. Again, I know he has his eyes set on the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Same thing with Joe Hendry. Same thing goes with Frankie Kazarian. So I'm guessing at some point between now and Final Resolution, or maybe even Genesis next year, TNA Genesis, they'll probably do like a triple threat match. The winner of that will face Nic Nemeth at Genesis probably. That's probably where they're going with all of this. So it is what it is. So Mike Santana winning, that's okay. It doesn't really matter all that much. Moving on. So this leads us into a promo by the Shitty System, which is Moose, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards, and Alicia Edwards. So Brian Myers said that Eddie Edwards will be the new TNA champion once again tonight. He says that he would to wish him luck, but he doesn't need it. Moose says he's the face of the franchise, and he's going to beat the hell out of Laredo Kid and give his mask to his 6-year-old kid and send him back to AAA or wherever he came from, or Laredo, Texas. So that was a nice little dig there. Eddie Edwards says, too bad that Nic Nemeth's dreams will turn into a nightmare tonight when he becomes a 3-time TNA champion. You'll learn to trust the system. Man, fuck this. Who cares about this shit? Moving on. So this leads us into the Turkey Bowl match. The winner is Joe Hendry, obviously. So it was Joe Hendry, Brian Myers, Eric Young, Hammerstone, Rhino, and John Schuyler. Brian Myers loses, which is great, so he got to put on a turkey suit. He got beat up by Eric Young, Rhino, and Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry did the AA, so the attitude adjustment. So you know his mind's focused on WWE. So we know where he's going. We know that's where he's going to show up anyway. We don't know when that will be. It'll happen sometime next year. I don't know. I wouldn't bring Joe Hendry in until around probably Rebellion. So I wouldn't bring him into around April. So around WrestleMania. So that's what I would do. I would have him, let's say that we do get Trick Williams and Obafemi at Stand and Deliver next year, WrestleMania weekend. And then let's say Trick wins that match, or Oba wins that match. Whoever wins is fine. And let's say we see Joe Hendry come out that way. So that's what they might be doing. So maybe Joe Hendry does win the title at Genesis, maybe. Maybe that's where this is all going, and he gives like a little short run as champion. So maybe they're going to bring him in, being NXT. They'll probably bring him in around WrestleMania season. I think that would be perfect for him, if we're being honest. So there's that. Moving on. So this leads us into Rosemary. So she cuts a backstage promo, and she says, "Did the children see the destruction tonight? It's just a taste, but it's such a shame that we lost. We cannot be here to celebrate this. We want the shiny prize. The harvester of despair is on your trail. We want it. I want it. And there's nothing you can do to stop us." So this is fine. So I'm guessing she's going to be feuding with Masha Slamovich going forward. This does make sense. I do like this. Would she be playing the heel or the baby face? Or is she just lost in her own little weird gothic satanic realm? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But this is fine. This does make sense. This is the best way to use Rosemary. I would love for this to transition into a lengthy feud between Rosemary and Masha Slamovich. Spoiler alert, Masha wins her title. Like, we all knew that was going to happen anyway. So, I mean, this is fine. We'll see where this goes. But this does need to be a long, drawn-out story and feud between Masha and Rosemary. Moving on, Moose defeats Laredo Kid to retain his X Division Championship. It took him not one but two spears to beat Laredo Kid. That's dumb as hell. Why would it take him two spears to beat Laredo Kid? And I'm a fan of Laredo Kid, but we knew he wasn't going to win here at all. So it is what it is. So, I mean, this makes sense, I guess. It's not really, nothing to complain about. We all knew that Moose was going to win anyway. And the match was short. It didn't last long. So it went about close to 8 minutes, a little bit over 8 minutes. And that makes sense, in my opinion. Moving on. So this leads us into Josh Alexander versus Steve Maclin, no DQ, or Punisher Steve Maclin. I didn't really care too much about this match. Maclin gets the win via the KIA into the shell casings. Yes, they brought in shell casings, which was crazy. That was cool. Obviously, they weren't real shell casings, obviously. But I do like that. That was pretty cool. Maclin winning actually does make sense. I figured he would win to continue their feud. Josh Alexander seems to be on his way out. I would imagine they could still hold on to the rubber match, and maybe that's where Josh Alexander puts his career on the line at Genesis. Because I doubt they'll do anything come Final Resolution, which is TNA's last pay-per-view of the year. So I doubt if they're going to revisit their feud there. So why not wait until Genesis to, end their feud totally? So Maclin gets the win. This is just an okay little match. It went on way too long, though. This thing went on 20-something minutes, and that pissed me off. That was a little bit too much. Josh Alexander and Steve Maclin, neither of those guys are over, and both of those guys are mid as hell. And I still don't understand why people think that Josh Alexander is going to go to WWE or AEW. I don't see him going to either of those promotions. I see him going to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling and become a star there. Again, Josh Alexander is almost close to 40, and Josh Alexander is injury prone. And WWE, typically, if you're injury prone, they're not going to push you as much. Like, even if Josh were to go to NXT, what would he do in NXT? And I doubt if he would ever become NXT champion, he probably at best will be a tag team champion and probably win the NXT North American Championship. Outside of that, what else would he do? I have no idea. I really don't. But this match was too damn long for my liking. But Steve Maclin getting the win makes perfect sense. And I'm pretty sure the feud will probably end at TNA Genesis. But we'll have to wait and see. Moving on. So we get a promo for Chris Bay talking about, what happened to him and everything else. That was pretty cool. So we got a QR code so that way people can donate to him for his recovery. Hopefully Chris Bay does make a speedy recovery. It sucks that he's going to be out for a while. He has to have neck surgery. So we send our love and support to Chris Bay. And hopefully he can be back sometime next year. Don't know when. I do know when he comes back, he'll probably have to change his style for sure. I don't know what all he can do, but he would have to change his style going forward. And Chris Bay is only in his 20s. I want to say mid to late 20s. I want to say he's between 25 and 29. So I want to say he's in his mid to late 20s. But, it's a sad situation, though. Sad situation. But we definitely send our love and support and best wishes to one Chris Bay. The guy's awesome, though. He's awesome. And his music is really good, too. I downloaded a couple of his songs, and I do like them. So he's a really good musician as well. So kudos to him for that. Moving on. So this leads us into the tag team match, the 6-man tag team match. So it was the Hardys, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Ace Austin versus Kushida, Zachary Wentz, and their mystery partner, which ended up being Matt Riddle. So Zachary Wentz gets on the mic. He says that Trey Miguel has travel issues and can't be here tonight. He called the shaman. He said that the bro is in the building, and that bro is none other than Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle got a really good reaction. This was great. I like this. Tom Hannafin did excellent on commentary. He did excellent. He mentioned the birds and stuff and all that. That was cool. He mentioned, how he mentioned NXT 2.0 when Matt Riddle was the shaman. This was probably about the mid part of 2022, I believe. Or yeah, this is about the mid part of 2022 for sure. I remember it very. I remember it very, very well. So that makes sense. Matt Riddle showing up is great. This is perfect. I'm hoping that he does stick around in TNA. Hopefully he does make a couple more of appearances. I would like for him to sign to TNA. That way he can still do stuff in, for TNA. Work for TNA, do stuff in New Japan, and still do stuff in MLW. But the Hardys and Ace Austin, they win. And then post-match, all 6 guys shake hands. So this is good. The match was so-so. It was kind of slow and stuff. This was all right, I guess. Moving on. So this leads us into the 2 out of 3 falls match. Masha Slamovich defeats Jordynne Grace not once but twice. So Jordynne Grace gets the first pinfall. She wins via roll-up, which makes sense as they were trading roll-ups back and forth. Masha was able to get her roll-up win back, and then Masha wins via the sit-out power driver for the 1-2-3, which is cool. I do like this. This was a pretty fun match. I enjoyed it. Both women fought very hard. And this was some really good stuff. Also, Rosemary showed up as well, but she didn't get involved. So she was just in the aisleway for whatever reason. And Masha gets the win via the package power driver. So that was cool. Makes perfect sense. I'm guessing Jordynne Grace is going to go to NXT sooner rather than later. I really wouldn't bring Jordynne Grace in until like probably New Year's Evil. So that's what I would do, is bring her in around that time. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Main event of the evening. Nic Nemeth defeats Eddie Edwards. This was way too fucking long of a match. Basically, the system, they came out and got involved. JBL came out. He took out Brian Myers, who was still in his turkey suit. And Nic Nemeth got the win via the danger zone. It took, I think, like 2 danger zones to put away Eddie Edwards. Like, what the fuck is this? And then post-match, Nic Nemeth just celebrates with the title. So there's that. This was an okay pay-per-view. It could have been better, but such is life. It's not really all that important. But it is what it is. Matt Riddle showing up was cool. That was great. Other than that, nothing else really happened on the show that's worth talking about. And it is what it is. But what did you guys think of Turning Point? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.